Hi, boys and girls. We're going to start. Mr. Granite is from another planet. This is My Weird School Days, book number 3. Chapter 1. The boringest store in the world. My name is AJ and I hate school. Do you know which months are the best months of the year? July and August, of course, because there's no school over the summer. Yay. The only problem is that now it's September. Boo. Bummer after the summer. School starts tomorrow, so my mom and dad said we had to go to the store called Staples to buy back to school supplies. Ugh. Staples is the boringest store in the history of the world. They don't sell video games or toys or any cool stuff. They just sell pens and pencils and uber boring junk like that. My mom had a list of things I had to get for 3rd grade. After we found the boring book covers, boring binders, boring colored pencils, and boring glue sticks, I wanted to get a pen with a laser beam in it. Laser beams are cool. I saw this movie where they used a laser beam to kill aliens from outer space. But they don't sell pens like that at Staples. They do have one cool thing, a copy machine. Copy machines are cool because you can put your head on the glass and make funny pictures of your face. It only costs 8 cents, but you have to be sure to close your eyes or you'll go blind. I stuck my head in the copy machine and closed my eyes. I reached for the start button when I heard the most horrible sound in the history of the world. Hi, Arlo. Ugh, it's Andrea Young, this annoying girl in my class with curly brown hair. I hate her. Andrea calls me by my real name because she knows I hate it. I took my head off the copy machine as Andrea was with her mom, who looked just like Andrea, but with wrinkles. Are you buying back to school supplies too, Arlo? Andrea asked. No, I told her. I'm skydiving. When somebody asks you a dumb question, you should always give them a dumb answer. That's the first rule of being a kid. I would never put my face in a copy machine, said Andrea. Why not? Because I'm one of a kind, Andrea said. You should put your face in a paper shredder instead, I suggested. Andrea rolled her eyes. Why can't a copy machine fall on her head? My mom and Andrea's mom were talking about the weather. Grown-ups are really interested in the weather. Nobody knows why. So I was forced to talk to Andrea. Which do you like better, Arlo? Andrea said. This notebook with a picture of kittens on it, or this one with elephants on it? Do they have a notebook with a picture of elephants stomping on kittens? I asked. Andrea rolled her eyes again. Our mom said we could play around in the office chairs for a few minutes while they talked about the weather. Let's pretend we're grown-ups working in a real office, Andrea said. I sat at one of the desks and picked up a fake phone. Send over $1 million, I barked into the phone. Now! Where's my coffee? Andrea shouted. I'll die if I don't have coffee. You're fired, I barked again. Get out! Pretending to be a grown-up is fun. I need to file some reports, Andrea said, and she rolled her chair over to the big filing cabinet. When she pulled it open, the most amazing thing in the history of the world happened. A head popped out. Gee, mates, the head said. Ah! We screamed. It was Mr. Granite, our new 3rd grade teacher. Chapter 2. We want chocolate cake. The first day of school is the worst day of the year, but the nice thing is that 3rd graders are allowed to ride their bikes to school. I rode with my friends, Ryan and Michael. After we locked our bikes to the bike rack, we were told to go into the library and the all-purpose room for an assembly. The teachers were sitting on the stage and they were wearing these t-shirts that said PAL on them. Mr. Klutz, our principal, was up there too. He had no hair at all. I mean, none. Mr. Klutz was wearing a green shirt too. His head was even painted green. Mr. Klutz is nuts. Is it St. Patrick's Day? Asked Neil. I asked Neil Crouch, who we call Neil the Nude Kid, even though he wears clothes. It's St. Patrick's Day is in March, dumbhead, said Neil. So's your face, I replied. After we finished pledging the allegiance, Mr. Klutz went to the microphone. Welcome back to elementary school, he announced. I want to introduce the newest member of our staff. This is Miss Jahi, our vice principal, and this is Mr. Brad, our school counselor, and over here is our new third grade teacher, Mr. Granite. Three of them stood up. Everybody clapped. I waved to Mr. Granite. I knew he was going to be my third grade teacher because I met him on the beach over the summer. I even saw him yesterday at Staples. We're wearing green today to show that elementary school cares about the environment, said Mr. Clutch. This year, we're going to use less energy, create less waste, and help the planet. The program will be under Mr. Granite's supervision. Wow, I whispered to Ryan. Mr. Granite has supervision? That means he can see through walls. You returning students know I like to challenge you, Mr. Clutch commented. So here's a new challenge. If elementary school is named the greenest school in the county for the month of September, we'll have an all-you-can-eat chocolate cake party. Yay! Everybody went crazy because all love chocolate cake. And that's the first rule of being a kid. Chapter 3, Pedal Power. After the assembly, Mr. Granite led us to our new classroom. There were posters all over the walls with pictures of rocket ships, stars, planets. It was cool. But the weird thing was, instead of desks, the room was filled with exercise bikes. Why are there bikes in here? Asked this annoying girl, Emily, who is Andrea's crybaby friend. It's part of my new PAL program, Mr. Granite said. Pedal and learn. Instead of burning oil or coal to get electricity to run our school, we're going to pedal these exercise bikes. So we'll learn new things, save energy, get exercise all at the same time. It's a win-win. We get to ride bikes in school. Cool, bikes are fun. I have a trick bike at home. I hopped on a bike between Michael and Ryan. In third grade, we're going to learn a lot about space, said Mr. Granite. So start pedaling, pals. I know a poem about space, I said as I started to pedal my bike. Mr. Granite said I could recite it, and it goes like this. Boys go to Mars to get candy bars. Girls go to Jupiter to get more stupider. That's not nice, Arlo, said Andrea. Neither's your face. As we paddled our bikes, Mr. Granite told us all lots of stuff about planets and stars. Did you know that Venus is the hottest planet? It gets up to 900 degrees there. I hope they have a lot of swimming pools on Venus because when I get really hot, I want to jump in a pool. Did you know that a day on Jupiter is less than 10 long hours? Did you know that the astronauts are a little taller in space because there's no gravity to push their bones together? Did you know that the ancient Greeks called our galaxy Milky Way because they thought it was made of drops of milk? Those Greeks were weird. It takes 8 minutes for the sunlight to reach the Earth, Mr. Granite said. So if the sun exploded right now, we would still have 8 minutes to live. Emily jumped off her bike and started freaking out. 8 minutes to live, she yelled. We've got to do something. And then she went running out of the room. Emily is weird. At night, Mr. Granite told us, you can see over 1,000 stars with your naked eye. But if you ask me, it makes no sense. We don't wear clothes on our eyes anyway. Everybody started giggling because Mr. Granite said the word naked. And anytime somebody says naked, you have to giggle. That's the first rule of being a kid. Now, Mr. Granite said, let's learn about Uranus. Everybody giggled. It's hard to learn stuff when your teacher keeps saying words like naked and Uranus. After a while, my legs started to feel tired. Riding a bike isn't as much fun when you're just staying in place and learning stuff. I started to pedal slower. That's when something weird happened. The lights went out. Suddenly the class was dark. Yee! Screamed all the girls, as if they'd never been in the dark before. Who turned out the lights, Michael asked. You did, said Miss Granite. You need to pedal faster. We all started pedaling faster, and the lights went back on. Keep pedaling, shouted Miss Granite. I thought I was gonna die.